Unraveling the tapestry of time, our journey begins in the ancient lands of Afghanistan. A landlocked country nestled between Central Asia, South Asia, and the Middle East, Afghanistan's history is as diverse as its rugged terrain. The first pages of Afghanistan's story were written more than 50,000 years ago. Back then, early humans roamed these lands, leaving behind stone tools that serve as silent witnesses to their existence. Over time, these early inhabitants gave way to more settled communities, marking the dawn of civilization. The rise of the earliest city-states in Afghanistan is a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of its people. With limited resources and a harsh climate, they built thriving societies, laying the foundations of what would become one of the world's oldest continuous major civilizations. But Afghanistan's place in world history was not merely as a birthplace of civilization. It also played a pivotal role in the Great Silk Road, a network of trade routes that connected the East and the West. Its strategic location made it a natural bridge between civilizations, facilitating cultural and economic exchange. From the Chinese silk and spices that flowed in from the East, to the gold and precious stones that were brought from the West, Afghanistan was a bustling hub of trade. Its markets teemed with traders from far and wide, their languages, cultures, and ideas mingling to create a vibrant tapestry of human civilization. This exchange wasn't just about goods. It was about knowledge, ideas, and traditions. It was through these interactions that Buddhism found its way to China, and Greek philosophy influenced Indian thought. Afghanistan, in many ways, was the beating heart of the old world. From its earliest days, Afghanistan has stood as a crossroads of civilizations, a melting pot of cultures and a hub of trade, setting the stage for a rich and complex history. This ancient beginning shapes Afghanistan to this day, influencing its culture, its people, and its place in the world. It's a story that's as fascinating as it is complex, and it's only just begun. As we step into the 19th century, Afghanistan finds itself right in the middle of a geopolitical chess match. The Great Game. This was a time of political maneuvering and covert operations where empires clashed not with swords and cannons, but with diplomacy and subterfuge. At the heart of this game were two great powers, the British Empire with its strong foothold in India and the Russian Empire, seeking to extend its influence across the vast expanse of Central Asia. Afghanistan, rich in resources and strategically located, became the chessboard upon which these two titans vied for control. The British, fearing a Russian invasion of India through Afghanistan, sought to establish a friendly buffer state. They pursued this through a series of Anglo-Afghan wars, endeavoring to install a pro-British government. Meanwhile, the Russians, eager for a warm water port and access to India's riches, tried to exploit the situation, extending their influence in the region. This power struggle had profound impacts on Afghanistan. It was a time of turmoil and change as the nation grappled with foreign interference and internal strife. But amidst this chaos, an important event occurred, the signing of the Durand Line Agreement in 1893. This agreement, brokered by Sir Mortimer Durand, a British diplomat, and Amir Abdur Rahman Khan of Afghanistan, established the modern borders of Afghanistan. The Durand Line, however, was more than just a line on a map. It was a complex and controversial boundary, dividing ethnic groups and causing tension that echoes even to this day. The Great Game ended with the onset of the First World War, leaving behind a legacy of political intrigue and territorial disputes. But perhaps its most lasting impact was on Afghanistan itself. The chessboard was scarred, the pieces scattered, but the game had irrevocably changed the course of Afghanistan's history. Caught in the crossfire of empires, Afghanistan's destiny was forever shaped by this era of political maneuvering. In the latter half of the 20th century, Afghanistan would face a new set of challenges as modern conflicts took center stage. A new chapter in Afghanistan's history was written in 1979, when the Soviet Union, drawn by the prospect of expanding its political ideology, invaded the country. This marked the start of a brutal 10-year conflict, the Soviet-Afghan War, which left the nation scarred and destabilized. The Afghan resistance, known as the Mujahideen, bolstered by international support, waged a fierce guerrilla war against the Soviet forces. The war was a crucible, a testing ground that would give birth to a new wave of conflict. With the Soviet withdrawal in 1989, the vacuum of power led to the eruption of a civil war. The Mujahideen, once united against a common enemy, found themselves splintered along ethnic and tribal lines. The country was carved up amongst warlords, and the common people bore the brunt of the power struggle. In the midst of this chaos, an ultra-conservative political and religious faction known as the Taliban rose to power. Promising stability and rule of law, they established control over most of the country by the late 1990s. Their reign, however, was marked by oppressive laws, severe human rights abuses, and a complete disregard for international opinion. The world's spotlight turned to Afghanistan once again following the tragic events of September 11, 2001. The Taliban's refusal to extradite Osama bin Laden, the mastermind behind the attacks, led to the US-led invasion of Afghanistan. The campaign aimed to dismantle al-Qaeda, capture bin Laden, and remove the Taliban from power. Today, Afghanistan stands at a crossroads, grappling with the remnants of its tumultuous past while striving to forge a new future. Its people resilient, its spirit unbroken. In the face of adversity, Afghanistan has persevered, its story continuing to unfold on the world stage. The sands of time have seen Afghanistan weather many storms. From its earliest days, this land has been a cradle of civilization, nurturing ancient cultures and giving rise to mighty empires. It has been a crossroads of the world where East meets West, and a stage where the great game of imperial rivalry was played out. Yet Afghanistan's story is not just one of empires and conquests. It is also a tale of resilience and survival, of a people who have faced the harshest of circumstances yet have never been broken. Through wars, invasions, and internal strife, they have held on, preserving their rich cultural heritage and fighting for their future. The modern struggles of Afghanistan are a reflection of this enduring spirit. Amidst the turmoil, the Afghan people continue to forge ahead, driven by an unyielding hope and an unbreakable will. As we close this chapter of our journey, we're reminded that the history of Afghanistan is a testament to human resilience and the indomitable spirit of its people.